there's that old saying, you either die the hero or live long enough to watch yourself start taking fashion jobs. And I don't give a fuck.
I'm looking for all the baddies all over the world. Ladies!
Where my baddies at? What are you doing in my house? Dude, I told you I was done with YouTube videos for like a long time, bro. You gotta go.
Bad. You bad. Where my baddies at?
We are back. I saw the bat signal in the sky last night and I was like, dang, they're really pulling out all the stops and they just need me to talk about finance. They need me to talk about longevity as a freelancer. And you know what? I was there to answer the call, okay? It truly is a big point, and I see a lot of people get kind of messed up on it. Not that I'm the best at it, but I have made it work. It's allowed me to have some financial peace, allowed me to buy a house. I'm not like actually scared every single month. So if you're in that position, this video probably is for you and it'll probably help. Here we go. Just to make it a little easier, I'll put Subway Surfers on the screen right here just to really keep you interested. Just kidding. And you know what? We're gonna do this all in 5 minutes. At least I'm gonna try. I am not a financial professional and this is not financial advice, but this has worked for me. It has given me financial stability. It's allowed me to do things I never thought I'd be able to do. So let's get into it. Start the clock. Number one, let's start out with diversifying your portfolio. And I'm not talking about your website, how your Instagram looks. I'm talking about the percentage of your income that one client makes up. I've made the mistake in the past of having one client that made up almost the entirety of my income. Everything else is just odd jobs, right? Big mistake. Don't do that. It is not safe to do that. Not everything is going to be the like major job that you want to do, the major clients you want to do. But if you can be on set as an assistant, I don't know, be a digitech, go work as a camera operator for someone else. It does give you better networking, number one, which is huge. And it gives you a life raft. If your client goes under or doesn't work anymore, whatever happens, you have other people to fall back on. This is huge. And I'm not saying make yourself a jack of all trades. You need to post all this on your Instagram. Only post what you want to be seen as, but it's really good to have these skills in case there's a tough month as a DP. You can pick up some editing gigs and still make it through. Number two is financial planning for freelancers. This industry and all creative industries fluctuate. We have highs and lows. We need to learn how to budget for the low months and save when you're booked straight for the entire month. Otherwise, it's gonna be really tough when December comes up and nobody is working. You're not gonna have money to live on, so you have to do this. Financial literacy goes beyond this video. Do research by yourself on what makes it work for you. But here's a good little thing to go by. 50% of your income is needs, 30% is wants, and 20% is savings. And I'm serious when I say don't touch the 20%. You have to have that as an emergency fund. You should have really 3 to 5 months of your monthly expenses, your rent, your car payment, your insurance, etc. You need to have 2 to 3 months of that before you can even think about doing anything else, just to give yourself some financial peace. I can't even tell you how much better I feel having some savings. A lot of people don't have savings. So it might seem obvious, but seriously, that 20% of your income that can go to savings, give you emergency fund is huge. Just a little bonus point in here, cut your spending down as much as you can. If you need to move 20 minutes outside of the city you're living in to spend way less on rent, do it. Also, you don't need YouTube Premium or HBO Max. That could go into your emergency fund and you'll feel way better knowing that you're kind of good to go. Number three is continued learning and adaptation. This industry is always changing. AI is changing at a huge amount. We have to stay up on learning new things, continuing our skill, continue to get better. A huge example of this, if it's a tough month as a DP and you can work as a photo assistant or a digitech because you learned Capture One, then you're setting yourself up for success. You're always gonna get more work out of it. You're always gonna get more availability. So make sure to keep learning, make yourself marketable, have more and more skills. Ooh, this is a big one. Don't buy additional gear that you don't need. Don't buy the Mini LF. Don't buy the Venice 2. You probably don't need it. The reason I say this, and I understand that Mini LFs are fantastic and that they do work all the time, but something I see people fall into is thinking that it will make their work better immediately, when that's really not the truth. Now, if we're talking 2013 and it's the 5D Mark III or the Alexa Mini, yeah, 100%. But every camera on the market is good now. I see people putting out incredible content from an FX3 on the daily. There are reasons to buy new gear, but I think a good rule of thumb to go by is if you've rented it once or twice a month for the last 3 months, then you can start thinking about it. But only then, and only if you know you can get a kit fee, is it really worth buying the really high echelon of gear at this point. Don't make the mistake of thinking it'll make you cooler, or make you better, and putting yourself in a financially unstable situation. And this was a tough learn for me. Avoid unnecessary outsourcing. I'm not saying don't bring in a specialist. I'm not hating on colorists here. If this is a job you can even do remotely yourself, if this is something that you want to learn, even in the slightest, actually, even if you don't want to learn it, it's probably a good skill to learn if you're outsourcing. Now, if you run into a situation where you have too much work and you have to outsource, that's fine. But most of us that I know are not in a position that they have to outsource every single month. So be really careful not to fall into the desire to take on less work or feel like a little bit more of a boss. It's not worth it. I've done it. Don't do it. Boom, under 5 minutes. These things have really helped me, guys, and I hope that they help you. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on being financially stable, operating like a business as an entrepreneur and as a freelancer. So I hope these things helped you. Put them into practice. Tell me how it goes. If you have questions, reach out, ask me. I'll be happy to answer. Just a little update for you guys that know me or have watched a little bit. I actually moved to Tennessee, which has been incredible. Talk about lowering your expenses. Moving from LA to Tennessee, that definitely did it. And I'm loving it. I'm loving living near family. I'm shooting this on the R5 Mark II, which is super sick. And I've actually shot a few projects on it recently instead of my Komodo, which has been super fun. And so I hope to bring a little bit of that content to the channel as well, talking about this thing. It's an absolute beast. I thought about it for a few months before I bought it. Thank you very much. So hopefully to bring out a video on that soon, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.